Let me get my seatbelt. I don't know why my seatbelt made a bomb noise. That was weird.
I think you were in an accident.
That's
Horrible
weird though.
accident.
I'm parked. Welcome to Talk About Scary, the show where we do just that. Talk about scary places.
Ooh. What's happening, brother?
Not much. Not much.
Yeah. How you enjoying your quarantine time? Having fun?
Oh, yeah. I played
Well,
Jenga with myself.
how'd that work out?
I lose every time.
Nice. That's it's quite boring. Thanks for sharing. We actually hoped we'd be doing this this show, and the quarantine would be over. We'd be doing this, together live, but unfortunately, didn't happen that way. But it's cool. We're still doing it, and I'm excited. I'm not playing Jenga, but it's exciting.
Shut up.
So,
We'll be together soon enough. The show is progressing, and it's about to get a lot better. So, like Adam just said, we're going to be together, and we have some things planned in the future. What was that? Did you just whisper something?
Forever.
Don't think I didn't hear you.
We're going to be together in RL forever.
We're going to get together, and we're actually going to go out to some places too, and try some new things and some new formats that we think you guys would really like based on what you've responded to with us, and just what we'd like to see the show become.
Man's not lying. It's gonna get pretty effing crazy up in here.
Unless I'm lying.
It's not.
I'm not, though.
No, it's not at all. It's your turn today, right? Or is it my turn?
I think we're going to do your turn first.
Ooh, boy, that's exciting. Okay. Well, better buckle up, man, because we are going to
Get my seatbelt. I don't know why my seatbelt made a bomb noise. That was weird.
I think you were in an accident.
That's
Horrible
weird, though.
accident.
I'm parked.
Bizarre.
That's weird.
We're going to old-timey Mississippi, my friend.
Mississippi?
Mississippi.
ISS?
That's pretty close to the correct spelling. So
PPI.
IPPI.
There might be an M in there too.
A few. No, just one.
I was like, wait, what?
All right. We're going to Natchez, Mississippi. Natchez is a very, very old Spanish town. It was originally a Spanish European town, not a
In
British
Mississippi?
European town. That's correct. I didn't know that either.
That's weird.
Very interesting. So it's 237 years old, this town. That's amazing.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Natchez.
it's a river port city. So the Spanish settlement was from about 1700, and we're talking about the King's Tavern today. So
King's Tavern.
King's Tavern, I should just say that right off the bat. We're talking about the King's Tavern, which was built in 1769. And it was built after the British took over the town. And it was originally Fort Pemure, I think I'm saying that right. And it was a blockhouse for Fort Pemure. And then after the British lost it after the Revolution, our revolution, the Revolutionary War,
We won.
the Americans took it over. And it was purchased by a guy named Richard King. Pretty rich dude. And good old Rich decided to make this into something that a lot of people did at the time, and some places still do in the old timey West, like Montana. It was a bar, it was a tavern, it was a kind of a hotel for lodging. It was a post office, and it was a bank. You could store your money with the bartender. Pretty crazy, right?
Wait, a bartending teller?
Yeah,
In
it was
a
like
drinking bank?
it still happens in Montana, man. I swear to God.
No one goes to Montana. How is the rest of the country supposed to know this? Montana's population is 200.
I think it's like three people.
Three. The 197 left,
That's right.
I guess.
My wife's from Montana.
Mm,
So they're missing one. So now there's 2 people. But yeah. So
okay.
So it was a port town, and they didn't have a sawmill there. So a lot of ways that they made their money, people made their money, and generally the commerce of the day and how they built things was the Mississippi is a huge river, and riverboats would go up and down the Mississippi transporting goods on these flat boats, like pallet boats almost. And when the merchants were finished, rather than take their gross boat back, they would dismantle it and they would sell the pallets for a lot of money to Natchez, and people in Natchez would build stuff. So a lot of the homes, including the King's Tavern, has a lot of pieces of old boats. It was made out of old boats. Kind of cool. No ghosts yet, but kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know this show was called Talk About Places Made Out of Old Boats.
It's called Talk About History. Wasn't it Talk About History?
We can still change the name in post. Well, we can cut this or change it.
All right. Well, because of the fact that it was a pretty much a port town attached to a river, just like here in Arizona or anywhere that's Wild Westy, it was very much like that. And there's a lot of like nefarious types, root 'em, toot 'em, shoot 'em, bad guys.
Stick 'em up.
Stick 'em up. Exactly. A lot of murders actually happened on the road to Natchez because there's merchants walking away with money. So these bad guys would come and just kill the F out of them. And they'd take their money back to Natchez and spend it at the King's Tavern.
Of course, that's what you do. You kill and then you spend your money.
You spend your money after you finish killing. So I'm going to start with something really interesting about this. 2 of the first serial killers recorded in U.S. history were from right here. They were the Harp brothers. I don't have the name of the first one, but the other one's name was Big. Big Harp. That was his name.
Maybe the other one was Little.
Maybe it was Little Harp. I
Huge.
couldn't find any information about Little Harp or whatever the hell his name was. However, there's pictures of these guys. Look them up. I'll send them to you. But they were the Harp brothers, and they murdered a lot of merchants, and not just a lot of merchants, a lot of other people, a lot of citizens. And in one instance, Big Harp was staying at the King's Tavern, and there's a baby crying upstairs in the attic room, and he told the mother to shut the baby up. This part's not funny at all. I don't think this is funny, but he we usually do a pretty funny thing here. But he walked upstairs, grabbed the baby from the mother that couldn't quiet the baby, grabbed the baby by the legs, and continued to slam the baby up against the wall until the baby died.
Oh.
That's, I guess it's not too soon, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
That's just, you said we usually do funny things, so I was just like preparing for it.
It's not funny. No what? I mean, the 2 little girls, St. Augustine Lighthouse, that was funny. Babies. Nah. Oh, well.
Yeah, no, that's pretty messed up. Slamming it against the wall till it died, that's...
Yep. And then he went downstairs and went back to sleep. His brother later on...
In silence.
Yeah. Well, at least it was quiet, I guess.
Oh, what is happening to me? Why am I behaving like this?
It's usually my shtick. Anywho. So, later on, Little Harp, or whatever the hell we're going to call him, he, shortly after... Tiny Harp.
Tiny.
He was beheaded very close to the King's Tavern by various cohorts of his in the past, other bad guys, because these guys were so nasty and bad that the bad guys had enough of him and beheaded him.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Cut his head off, man.
Like...
So this is how violent this place is.
The people
Anyway.
you used to, do business with
Yeah, that's
betray you. But I guess it makes it sound like maybe Tiny was betraying them or using them.
perhaps,
And,
but they were.
You said they had had enough. So
They're tired of his tish. I'll tell you that
off
much.
with his head.
Cut it right off. I don't know what they cut it off with, but they cut it off.
Well, they used whatever the Red Queen uses in Alice in Wonderland, playing cards, I guess.
It was a playing card axe or something, or a hatchet.
Yeah, off with their head. Off with Tiny's head.
Perhaps. Man, you're rusty. You're rusty. Okay,
Rusty is a synonym for worn down gold.
Really?
So, like, at one time, I was golden, but I've aged
Now you're
poorly.
just poorly. Well, that's nice. That's real nice, dude.
That's like the 5th time you said that's nice to something that I've said today.
It's just a little off. You better come bring it on your episode. Next episode. Just kidding. You're doing wonderful. You're doing wonderful.
Well, I've been playing Jenga by
yourself
myself
in the
in
house.
quarantine since season 1. So
If that's what you're calling it, you call it Jenga if you want to. I have a lot of different names for it, but if you want to call it Jenga, that's up to you.
it's a block tower. A tower of blocks.
A tower of blocks. We have an inflatable clown here. I just punch it consistently.
Oh, sure you do.
Okay, so Mr. King, he was doing really well with all this nefarious crap going on. So he decided for his family he was going to hire a really hot 16-year-old nanny.
Of course.
Of course, that's by their accounts. I don't call 16-year-olds hot. I'm a dad. That's gross. He thought they were hot.
I'm a
She was
dad
hot.
too.
No, it's true.
We're all dads.
We're all dads. We don't. But he thought she was hot. Everybody thought she was hot. I guess 16 was like the new 30 back then. Anyway.
Well, wasn't their lifespan less? Wait, when did you say this happened?
The
1700s?
1700s, yeah, 1700s.
Yeah, their lifespan was less. So 16 probably was
the new 30. Probably. Anywho, he started having a torrid affair with this young lady. Torrid affair. And his wife, her name was
Petunia.
Madeline.
Madeline.
And Madeline.
guessed.
And Madeline got pissed, and rumor had it, this girl just disappeared one day, and the rumor mill started and said Madeline stabbed her to death and got rid of the body, or had her stabbed to death, got rid of the body. So a lot of horrific murders have happened in this place, and around the place, and in the building. So, anywho, eventually the industry there dried up, as things often do, and a family bought the place, wound up owning it for 150 years in the family, called the Postal, or the Postal family. Let's see here. I make sure I got this right. I don't want to screw this part up, guys. I don't want to screw this part up. Not that this is part of the scary stuff, but I just want to make sure it's right here. My handwriting is garbage today. I don't know what the hell's going on with me, man. Well, they bought it.
Too busy punching that clown.
Don't say punch the clown, man. That's rough. Okay, so so they bought it, and they kept it in their family for 150 years, beginning in 1823. And in 1930, they decided to do renovations on the place. Wonder what they found. Well, glad you asked.
A clown punching bag?
A clown punching bag. One of they were.
What did they find?
What did they find? Thanks for asking. Okay, so in 1930, they did renovations. I wonder what they found.
I already asked.
Okay.
What did they find?
In a wall of one of the fireplaces, they found 3. Count them, 3 mummified corpses.
Dun, dun,
Ooh.
dun.
One of them was a young lady, probably about 16 years old. The other 2 people, they don't know exactly who they were, but they assume that maybe these were the 2 men that were hired to kill her, and then they were off shoved in the wall.
Hmm.
That's all they can think of. So they're renovating another fireplace, another false wall with a fireplace, and guess what they find? A knife.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Right after that, these hauntings began. Right after they did the renovation and they uncovered these bodies and they buried them properly.
They dug up like the curse. It's like when you unearth an Egyptian mummy, like don't do that. You leave it buried.
That's why I like this one. It's very like Egyptology kind of like. I like it a lot, right? This is cool.
Let's King Tut's Tavern.
Okay. So that
You didn't like that? I'm trying to not be rusty.
King it's okay. It's going to take a while for us. You know,
King Tut's, Egypt.
I like it.
Tutankhamun.
Okay.
I said that. You just misheard. Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun.
They call him King Tut for a reason. It's 3 letters like cat. C-A-T. Easy.
Makes it easier.
Squeezy.
It's like a rapper. He's called me Tut.
Tut. Tut. What? Tut.
Tut in the what?
Please continue on. Just make me shut up.
Okay. So, so there was a lot of hauntings. And actually, in the Not Just Democrat, it's a newspaper article. It was written in 1974, February 1974. This is a real piece of an article. We can look this one up. This is great. Thomas Young was a resident of this place because it was in his family. He said, my mom, Hilda, died when I was 2 years old. And his grandmother brought him in and raised him in this place. And it said she would constantly tell him of a figure that would stand over the foot of her bed. She had red hair, just like the girl, right? And her hands were folded. And she would sit there and moan and wail.
When you say folded,
I don't know, maybe like this, like just folded. I mean, there's no pictures.
Say like this, and then like expect me to see you.
No, but you will eventually. You could have pretended that you were seeing me right now, but she folds her hands. Like you fold your hands, you know, like
a hamster.
Kind of. Like maybe you're standing over her, and maybe you interlace your fingers like church steeple style and put them down by your lap. I think that's probably how it's working out.
Okay.
So
I think I got it.
That was a person who actually stood up and said, "Hey, listen, this has happened. This was in the newspaper." And he said, she told me about this all the time. He would make notes of, or somebody after that lived there after that said they would make notes of, they'd hear wailing and babies crying upstairs. Later on, it turned back into a kind of bed and breakfasty tavern kind of place where you could stay the night and stuff. And people stay there. It's a little pricey, but people stay there. And
it still operates today.
It's still operating today. Ghost Hunters did a special there because they've done a special on everything. I mean, if you had a haunted sneaker, they've already done a special on it. I mean, there's no.
What about haunted cats? We talked about that on an episode.
We did. You know, if you say haunted, even if you make it up off the top of your head, they've already done an episode on it. They are running out of material. Well, we're not because we just started, so we're going to rehash all their old garbage. But they did an EVP, and while they're in there, I listened to the footage. But he said, "Who are you? What do you want?" And very clearly in the EVP, you hear a woman say the word "help," and I was like, "Oh, usually you don't hear anything. You're that was just static." Yeah. It sounded like "help." They didn't even have to put the words there; you could hear it. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of spooky." And then he got kind of creeped out and spooked out, and it looked genuine on film. And a lot of people have done EVPs; they've heard a woman's voice, but that is actual footage we can see that people aren't just talking about. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to bring that up. There's been, of course, lots of guests, lots of people have seen ghostly apparitions like a shadow on the stairs frequently. There's always...
that's nothing new. A lot of the places we've talked about have seen ghosts at the entrance of rooms or at the foot of stairs. So.
And you actually touched on this before about maybe it's not a ghost, maybe there's just residual energy because so many people have passed through. And I saw something that we'll talk about. Yeah, right. Well, I saw something that we can talk about it at a later date, but like they were showing something in an airport where it looked like a pilot took the photo or the video, but it looked like it was people, but they were nondescript. It wasn't like, it was like nondescript shapes of people moving back and forth. And a lot of people think that maybe it's just some sort of parallel dimension,
I've seen
residual
a video
energy.
just like that. I don't know if it's the one you're actually referencing, but he films it from like inside the plane or on the like catwalk entry to it.
That's
and
right.
it's like the next plane over, and you can actually see like it looks like people like getting off of a plane, but there's no plane attached to the
Exactly.
airwalk. Yeah. So
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I mean. Yeah, when I'm talking about energy. And I think where there's a lot of foot traffic, where a lot of people have been, I think that's why sometimes these ghosts or hauntings tend to happen there instead
on
of
stairs
just,
or in doorways, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, if a ghost is haunting the middle of the Amazon where there's no people, no one's going to see it. So, of course, if you want to be seen or felt, you have to be in an area where there's a lot of people or will be a lot of people or have been a lot of people. So airports, foot of stairs of hotels, bars, taverns, things like this, that makes total sense to me. And that's kind of what I believe when I think about like hauntings, just in general.
I would more subscribe to the energy factor rather than just a bunch of woo, I'm a ghost. I would think energy moving back and forth would be something that would make more sense. Even like a parallel dimension or something like that.
Yeah.
Across through any of that at all. I mean,
well, that's kind of just how the rest of nature works in general. If you're just looking at trees and plants and even animals, how they function and how they work with like the cycle of life. You know, trees die.
It's the cycle, the cycle of life.
I'm holding up Simba right now because the Lion King.
I don't.
Anyway,
Simba. I held up my mouth.
Oh, well, I was making a really intense face.
Nice,
like the baboon Rafiki. But anyway.
Okay, so
when plants, trees, the leaves, they like fall to the ground, like in forests, they have a purpose. They instantly like recycle and new trees, grow from it, or it helps the land around it. So it just, when you look at nature and other things in general, how it sort of has a purpose and it's all like energy for the planet, it kind of makes sense that parts of the afterlife and energy could potentially work the same.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go with that. From now on, I'm going with that. I like that. So that's my stance from now on, forever. That's it. Forever. I'm taking
like
your idea.
Like the Sandlot. Forever.
That's true.
Forever.
Great reference.
I'm just full of them today.
You are. You really are.
Actually,
now, also,
that's like the second. But go ahead.
I'm getting back to my story. Doors, very hard doors to open because they're these old wooden doors, will just slam open by themselves. And if someone calls the name Madeline, they will shut by themselves. Several people have said this. I have no video evidence of this. Ghost hunters couldn't or didn't do it. But several people that have stayed there and people that live close to it say that is something that happens. I would like to go see if that happens. I would like my producer.
Well, it must not happen every time. And let's not get the producer involved. We all know that's me.
But water being poured from the ceiling from nowhere will just fall out of the ceiling like someone's pouring it. People have seen that happen from the ceiling.
But why would that happen? Why would
they don't know? They say maybe the woman Madeline's playing tricks or something. There's always some stupid story behind why it's happening. But they say that's happening.
With the door closing, though, I'm kind of skeptical about that because if it happens that frequently that people talk about it, why is there no video of it? I mean, maybe it happens a lot, but it's questionable as to why no one would get video.
Could be video, but I couldn't find any on Google.
Yeah, I switched over to Bing.
Bing, oh gosh,
since season 1, I'm now a Bing guy.
Now brought to you by Bing. Bing, the other search engine. Okay.
Other. Replace that with better. I'm just kidding. Please, Google, don't get mad at me. I'm kidding.
The other white meat. Also, speaking of water, on freshly mopped floors, bare footprints about the size of a woman will appear in the fresh mopped floors.
Like a woman's footprints, or the footprints are the full length of a woman?
Yeah, they look like a woman-sized footprints. Not a full length of a woman,
like a woman's foot.
Yeah, like the size of a woman's foot.
I'm like, so you're telling me a T-Rex is also haunting this place?
Perhaps. No, not a full body size of a human. Just,
I got you.
Size footprint. Back then, it must have been like a size 4 because they were tiny humans. But, yeah, they said that people say that happens from time to time, which I think personally, maybe someone's mopping the floor. Someone steps and walks through it, makes it all dirty. They don't want to take responsibility for it. So they're like, the ghost did it.
Of course.
Sorry.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Probably what's happened. A lot of people still say hear a baby crying upstairs. I didn't know babies had ghosts, but I guess they do.
Well, I haven't contributed much, but I am following along and reading some stuff with you, and I see something that you haven't touched on yet, and it says, obviously, several strange happenings have taken place.
I swear to God, if you touch on it before I touch on it.
Area of the tavern. Witnesses have reported seeing a reflection suddenly appearing in a mirror. Is this what you were going to...
Thanks so much. I was going to get to that, and you've ruined it. Spoiler alert. There's reflections
as well as feeling warm spots a few inches above the bed, as if someone had been lying in it.
I still got one more you haven't touched on, so I'll wait till the end for you to... I like that one, though. The mirror thing is a common motif in hauntings. You'll see it.
But it's something that I don't think we've actually talked about before.
I always think it's garbage, so I never talk about it because I
left it on there.
All the old
for you.
Wild Westy things that we've done.
Talk about it.
A lot of places. You can see ghosts trapped in the mirrors, like it's like Superman, General Zod in the Phantom Zone, and like I've been to all these places. Seriously, I mean, how many hauntings do we haunted places? Haunted. I'm using quotation marks, air quotes. In Arizona, have we gone to where I've gone to so many, and all of them like, this is a Wild West bar front, and you can tell it's not. This mirror is old. It's very old. You can tell it's old. It's an old mirror. And I'm looking in it forever. I never see one damn ghost. They're shining lights all different directions. Like, you see it there? Do you see it there? I'm like, no. That's a light you're shining in the mirror. You are full of crap, my friend. But yeah, I did see that. I wasn't going to talk about it because I didn't think that I wanted to. And I'm glad you did. But,
yeah, of course you are. Talk about the stupid things, Clay.
At least you're playing along, because I don't play along.
There's a Hollywood movie about mirrors. It's called Mirrors. I think they made a second one.
That was really good.
Yeah.
The first one was really good.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Usually it's shadows or, something like that, or like a smoky figure or something. We've kind of hit on things like that in different places, but mirrors, I'm well aware that they are very common when it comes to hauntings, but none of the places we've talked about yet have talked about mirrors. So I just thought it was interesting since it's the first one.
I think it's good too.
Officially talking about
looking into a mirror is a very intimate, private thing. Even if you're in a crowded bar.
It's the only way you can see yourself.
It's true. But or unless you're like me and you're in a bunch of really bad movies that were created and produced by Overnight Pictures. I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. We have a great catalog, and I'm proud of everything I've ever done. But yeah, I mean, it's a very personal thing. You can be in a group of people, you can be in a bar, and if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you are looking at yourself, into yourself. And it's a very personal thing, and I think that it touches home with a lot of people, and it can be a very creepy thing. When you're in the bathroom by yourself, flossing your teeth or brushing your teeth or your hair or whatever, you're generally by yourself.
Yeah.
And it can be scary, I mean, when you're a kid, didn't you ever shut the lights off in the dark and do the Bloody Mary thing? Yeah. And you looked in the mirror. Terrifying. Wasn't Candyman about mirrors? I never watched Candyman. But it had a mirror thing in it too.
I never watched that either, so I'm not going to pretend like I know.
I've seen like, cartoons making fun of it. I've never watched. I should watch it. That's all of our homework this week. Let's watch Candyman and I don't know.
I'll be too busy.
You'll be too busy. Oh.
Well, okay. So did you say you had one more thing? Because we're running out of time here. For this
I do have one more thing, and
episode.
this is it. Okay. I started the fireplace behind me because I wanted to actually do this one. So after the fireplace was excavated, both fireplaces, residents now, they're not used for fire anymore. They're not ever turned on. The flues are closed, and people still feel sometimes a heat resonating out of the fireplace as if there's wood burning in the fire. I don't know why a ghost would do that, or an entity.
Well, that kind of goes with energy, what you can manipulate. Maybe that's the ghost trying to convey a message or something, and heat is their outlet. Yeah. Or maybe someone burned in the fire, and in a few more years, they're going to find some bones.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I have for you. This is King's Tavern. It's in Natchez, Mississippi. I have the address right here, everybody. Hold on. Can I do it? Hold on. The address is, drum roll please. Come on, King's Tavern. Do I have to look it up again? I have to look it up again.
I'm giving you a drum roll.
I'm trying here. So you can go look at it for yourself. King's Tavern in Natchez, Mississippi, really creepy place, is located at 613 Jefferson Street, Natchez, Mississippi, 39120. It closes soon, but it's open until 10 p.m. their time. You can call them at 601-446-5003. Tell them that Talk About Scary sent you. Get the Talk About Scary discount.
There's no discount.
Tell them to Talk About Scary sent you. We need to some
you
sponsorship.
Can do that, but there's no discount.
All right. Well, that's all I have today. That's my grand reveal today. This is all I brought to the table.
That was a great season premiere. I'm glad to be back shooting this show, and there's a lot of changes coming. We've listened to you viewers, and we've come up with some great ideas, I think, on our own to make this show better. And
not your ideas. Our ideas were good. Your ideas were just thanks for them, but we have our own ideas.
Thank you for them. We're ignoring them. No, but thank you guys for watching, and keep watching, keep listening. If you listen on podcasts, we're still doing podcasts. So until next time, creep it real.
Creep it real, my friends. Bye.